Says the federal government is working hard to deal decisively with insurgents and other criminal groups terrorizing the country. It said this when it paid an operational visit to the Theatre Command Operation Hadin Kai in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital.
It's an operational visit by the Minister of Defense, Muhammad Badaru, to the theatre of war. He is not here alone. The Chief of Defense Staff and Minister of State Defense make his entourage. This high-level delegation are here at the instance of President Bola Tinubu to appraise security situation in the state. First, it was a closed-door meeting with top officers and men of the theatre on security issues. Then, the press briefing.
We have been following on the developments already in Borno, and with the team here, our troops are doing wonderfully well to counter whatever threats. But in addition to that, we pay this operational visit to make sure that their plan is on track and is in line with that of the state government. Get briefing from both our team here and the state government, and to see how we can work together to really improve intensively the security situation in Borno with the aim of ending this insurgency.
The delegation took time to visit the state governor, Babagana Zulu. The governor's efforts was appreciated on how he supports the military at all times.
We will provide all that is needed to make sure you achieve your aim of locating people back to their various towns. The President gave us that assurance and also asked us to assure you that he will not relent until we have seen the end of this ugly trend.
I want to most sincerely thank you for this visit, and it is our sincere hope that this visit will change the security narratives in Borno State. What has been said about what is ongoing in Borno State, but inshallah, we are optimistic that the security situation will be okay very soon.
The ministers and Chief of Defense Staff reaffirmed the President's commitment to addressing the military in ending the insurgency and restoring peace. Jesse Tafida, TVC News, Maiduguri.
Well, let's bring in security and intelligence expert Sheyi Aditayo. Thank you so much for joining us on Standpoint.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
All right, thank you so much. Let's just get into the conversation very quickly. I know that it seemed we've been making some kind of progress in the last 1-2 years, but certainly we've seen a rise in attacks and the number of persons killed by these bandits, terrorists, and whatever group is regrouping in the northeast and now in the north central. First, I want to get your thoughts as to how concerning this is, knowing that now the new central seems to be, that's the north central now, seems to be in the news again for the wrong reasons.
Okay, it is an unpleasant news, but notwithstanding, if you look at the trends in the past, then you know that a period like this, when it starts raining, that is when you see that the farmers will start farm clearing and farm preparation for the new farming season. And then that is usually the period that we used to experience farmers' errors related incident. So it is not really surprising, but if you look at it year on year, it is not enough for us to conclude that insecurity have gone on high in Nigeria, or that the security agencies are losing. They are losing the war. These are battles that they have been fighting battles, and it is one that they are currently encountering at the moment. So it's important for us to give them the benefit of the doubt that as they have been able to stem the tide in the past, that they will do the same.
Really concerning, particularly when you take a look at the number of persons that have died in the last 2 months, or should I say 2 weeks. That's in Plateau, Benue, and then we've heard of attacks in Kwara State as well. For you, where is it, or where is the gap? Where's the security gap here? Is it that the security operatives, although they've recorded some kind of success in the past, are not really seeing this gap that they need to close on?
Okay, let me put it this way. The fact that we are not experiencing incident in the past does not mean that things weren't happening. And that is one thing about security and insecurity. People tend to undervalue the role that security agencies play when we are not incurring or recording incidents. We'll think that nothing is happening, so they are joking. No. The reason why we are not recording things for a while is because they're actually working. Now, the people or the challenges that are confronted, or the people behind those challenges confronting security in Nigeria would definitely look at where the gaps are for them to be able to exploit. And I think they've been able to suppress them for a while, and for past weeks now, they've been able to see gaps where they can easily exploit and create insecurity, and that is what we've experienced. But I need to take us back a little bit. A while ago, head of the Nigerian Foremost Intelligence Agency had actually, looked at these challenges, and he had advised us on the best way we can address this to ensure that these periodic attacks rather, are being addressed. And one of the issues that he raised, or suggested he raised, is the need for us to actually get communities to be able to defend, to stand at the first line of attack. If you look at the communities areas that have been attacked of recent, if the communities have some form of defense, first line of defense, number one, the attacks wouldn't have been carried out easily. Two, the number of casualties recorded will have been minimal. Three, the time it took the marauders to attack will have been an extended time, which will have given them opportunity to get response from, second line of defense, that is from either other communities or security agencies being able to come to their aid. And it's something that is important for us to go back and look into it. And like I said in other platforms, that I've seen this work in other areas. I remember some time ago when I was in Anambra State, when insecurity was at its highest peak, and we had armed robbers, double robbers that will attack the headquarters of the state's anti-robbery squad. They open fire on the headquarters to decapitate the headquarters before they go and rob the bank. So what the community did then was to, engage the governor and say, you know what, we need to defend ourselves. And the communities began to raise money with the support, with the nod of the state government and the support of the police headquarters. They were the vigilantes in each of the communities in Anambra State were armed with AK-47. The weapons were registered by the Nigerian police, and they were trained. The state government also supported each community with some funds, and the community were also able to raise funds, and they were able to buy vehicles. The state also donated vehicles to communities in Anambra State. The vigilantes were parading. They were working under the shadow of the Nigerian police, under the SOP that had been given to them, and they were holding periodic meetings with the Nigerian police to review their engagements and to monitor their activities. And there was no extrajudicial killing, because those who are arrested were taken to the police for prosecution. It worked. It brought armed robbery down to the lowest ebb in Anambra State at that time. If it worked in Anambra State, it can work in other states. Though we can look at some of these states that, okay, there are internal issues. The issues bedeviling states like Plateau are internal, are not like that in Anambra State, but it can work. It can work where in a situation where we can allow, organic growth of first-line security defense in each of these communities. More readers that are aware that the community is fortified, they will think twice before they attack. And even if they are attacking, they can easily call the neighboring communities. Because the neighboring community are also harmed, they can rise immediately into their defense as a form of reinforcement for them. While waiting for police and the military, to support them. And I think this is the way to go. The Nigerian military cannot have boots everywhere. They're already stretched, the police are stretched. We are talking of a huge landmass, and if the communities are not strong enough to provide first line of defense, these people, we attack them, kill them before the police or the military get to those locations.
The president has demanded fresh strategy, that's the security blueprints from the intelligence chief. What would you say should be the approach for them?
That's exactly what I've told you. That advice was given by the Director General of the Department of State Services. And if it's coming from them, that means that is, what they are saying. See, let me tell you something. Intelligence is very key to security planning and operation. Without intelligence, you are like going to war blinded. And for him to have come up with that, it means that they've done the assessments, and because they have a lot of information that are not available, in public space. And if they have been able to come up with the conclusion that we must allow the community to provide some level of defense, I think that is the way to go. Our question is, how do we now manage it to ensure that they are not abused? That is why we should be having a roundtable conversation. And let us look at places where that has been done, and then see how lessons learned from an Anambra experience, lessons learned from other states in the north that have, adopted similar, practice of the past, and then we use it to develop a nationwide strategy that can help us, reduce some of the burdens on our security agencies.
For you, citing the Anambra case study, how involved should the state government be? Because most of the time people get to look at the federal government, get to look at the intelligence agencies for support and for the help they need to safeguard these communities. But what's the responsibility of state governments in this?
Okay, for example, look at the Southwest. They came out with Amotekun. Who funded Amotekun? The state. Some of the state has, they have security trust fund. At least I know Lagos State has, Ogun State has, or your state has. They have state security trust fund in which they were able to bring in stakeholders within the state to contribute money. And then the state supported it, and they were able to provide vehicles. They bought the weapons, the pump action rifles that the Amotekun are carrying. It is a success in the Southwest. It can be also be successful in other parts of the country. These funds are there. The security, allowance for the governors are meant for things like this. There are other budget avenues. The local governments are collecting money. Certain amount of the local government revenue can be set aside to ensure that these supports are being provided for this. And I can assure you, if we make this a national strategy, it will go a long way in reducing these numbers of attacks that we record every now and then.
And just before I let you go, I just wanted you to also speak to the implication of these attacks on national security, really. How do the international community see us as a country that is not able to manage manage its communities, particularly in the Northeast and now the North Central?
We shouldn't deceive ourselves. No country in the world, as we speak today, are 100% secure. Even those with the best of technology in the world, United States, numbers of deaths in the United States are more than the numbers of deaths in Nigeria. And I stand bold to say that. And you can fact check, on this lone shooter incident, people going into schools and killing, going into hotels and killing people.
Well, you can't compare the causes of these deaths.
Each country has their own peculiarities. They don't have bandits, but they have people, non-state actors, that have turned themselves into some militia groups in the United States. We have it in different parts of the world. What I'm trying to say, here is that talking about, international community signals, many of them are involved with the problem that is happening within the Sahel region, within the sub-Saharan Africa. The crisis, the instability that they have created, those that they've harmed in the past, are the reason why we're having some of these problems. So I'm not really bothered about, the optics to them. My concern is that as long as we are doing the right thing in Nigeria, we'll take care of our own problem. It's not our problem what and how they think about us. Because, more often than not, they are the reasons why we're having some of these problems. And that is the truth. So we shouldn't bother ourselves about, the way they are looking at us. We should be concerned about what we are doing. Are we doing the right thing?
Security and intelligence expert Sheyi Aditayo, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us.